This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio. When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everybody? It's me, Frank Castle, your Sorcerer Supreme of Saturday nights, and I'm here with my etherical translator, Paula Milo.
Hey.
Hey. This is FearLess. Before we start, we'd like to thank Chris and Cherie from Beyond the Veil, truthfrequencyradio.com. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. So we just want to send you all the love we can each and every week. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat room. We love you guys. And don't forget, if you really like what you're hearing, what should they do?
Get a subscription.
Or
get the app.
Get the app. Get a subscription, hear everybody, go into the archives, hear everything. And for those that want to catch something and start the journey, go to YouTube and check out Frank Castle Fearless. And you get, the first third of the episodes on there.
Yeah, first 14 episodes or 13 episodes.
Yes. And then also you could get the music from Heist Click, HEIST-CLICK. It's the music you hear during the show. Remember, wherever you are, make it TFR. God, I love this lowercase g stuff.
I do too.
How many out there, because you probably hear it in my voice, what's going on? How many have been having a rough time?
Pretty much everyone we know.
It's been a crazy ride.
Mm-hmm.
The energies
couple of weeks.
Yeah, the energies are out of control. There was an article about gamma radiation I saw that was blasting us in the face. What I had felt was a pushing and pulling constantly, and it was like a force forcing its energy into me, and then being pulled out and it dragging out all kinds of stuff out of me. And then rushing right back in and doing it over and over again. Kind of like a crashing waves, just constantly hitting you and pulling out the junk and the garbage. I think this is it. I think this is the time of the hyper upgrading. I think that we're in for a really serious time with learning to control ourselves, repeating mistakes, or falling away by making the same mistakes again, and falling back into the old loops and old ways. For those of you that choose to leave the matrix, now is the time to do it. There's a few things I want to discuss. One of the things is we talked a couple of weeks ago, and I don't do any financial stuff ever. Told you guys about Bitcoin, silver, gold. Now Bitcoin is at $2,000.
Yeah.
Ethereum is at 119 or 118. Silver is going to be working its magic. You're going to see a spike downward, slight spike downward, and there'll be a rush by the elite to buy up the silver. You, during that time, will not be able to get anything but scraps. Anything, though, silver will be worthy. Don't wait till the very end. That doesn't mean dip everything into one basket. It means just diversify a little bit. Take a little percentage from here, a little percentage of there. This is the time when my grandparents talk about how they made their money from when the stock market came, and how they got into like AT&T when it was $20 and all this stuff, we're getting that opportunity now. History repeats itself over and over again.
Yep.
We don't see it, but there's statistics and analyzers
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the old timers that just say, well, history's repeating itself again. Why do you think they say it? Why? Because they're stupid old timers? Because they're dummies? Or did they live through it and they've seen it over and over and
Mm-hmm.
over again, and they're conditioned to say, look what's happening. They don't even care anymore. Those that are on the way out of old Earth are on the way out, and they're going to hold on as tight as they can to whatever it is they can. That's what old Earth does. They go into the stream that's moving at 90 miles an hour, and they decide to anchor their feet in the middle of the water. And then they wonder why they're beaten up and bruised, and everyone else is just flying by them, right? We decided to take the oars, put them in the boat, fly downstream, be fearless, right? The best part about that, when we talk about that, is you're an infinite being. We don't mean just take your oars, put them in the boat, and ride off into the rocks. We're saying let the universe guide you.
Yeah,
with the
because it
flowing
always
energy.
guides you to exactly where you're supposed to be. And you may not like where you're supposed to be, but you have to spend some time there and figure out why you don't like where you are. You know,
Yeah, why is it you don't like where you are? What have you done? What are you into?
What have you done?
Yeah, the way when I say it like that, it's very dramatic. But what have you done? What have you done for yourself? What have you decided that you deserve? If you have a conditional limit on this, then you're insane.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. If you're praying for something or wishing for something to happen, but you truly in your mind don't think you deserve it, the universe is not going to grant it for you because it's in conflict with what you're feeling. You have to feel that you're worthy of something, whether it be change or some physical item, you know, if you intend to receive it. If you're hating life and hating yourself and hating other people and, you know, there's just hate around you, you know, you're just asking the universe to provide more hate.
Yeah. If you're always rolling with the I and you, right? Like you separate yourself. Once again, the game of separation that keeps us apart, right? Like you're treading water. You're doing a dog paddle in place. You're in this ridiculous spiritual loop of your consciousness can't get through to your monkey mind. Look, man, this is what's up. Get over it. Get on. Go with the flow or get hit with the wave. It's what you choose to do. But why would you not think you're worthy?
You don't have to accept things the way they are. If you don't like them, you can change them, but a lot of the time you'll realize it's you that needs to be changed, not the situation and not the person that you want to change for. You in your mind, in your head, in your heart, you need to change before anything can change around you, because then you won't see it because you're vibrating at a different frequency.
We talk about this all the time. It's do you change yourself and then the world changes with you. That's what you do.
You change you.
The world isn't going to change. Like you got to change you, and then the world will change along with you.
Yeah, it's like I'll say, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, then you're never going to see it because you have to believe of the possibility.
And for those that do see it, for you guys,
I love the chat.
Your head,
folks.
you're responsible for way more. There's no more playing around with you guys. If you know, and you're not doing, at least for you, for, you know, like the best you can, you know, to leave the negative footprint, whether it be spiritually, consciousness, or physical, pick up your mess and take it with you, then what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And if you're not part of this shift that's happening, that's fine too, because it's they're like old earthers.
Yeah, but you guys that aren't part of it are hearing this or not hearing this at all. You're either going,
you wouldn't be listening, anyway.
Or you wouldn't be listening, and it doesn't matter. So we're not hurting anyone's feelings, and you're not being selfish.
No.
Like what? All right, you know what's funny? I basically had no rule for tonight's show. I kind of put some stuff up, and which is what we're discussing anyway. But apparently, this is a very big issue because I can feel it. I can feel it as we're talking, what's coming through me, how we're acting. Look, you're hearing this. It's education time, people. We're rolling forward. If you're hurting and in pain and having an issue and it's over and over and over, what do you think you're doing? Do you think it's everyone around you, or do you think it's you?
You have to look inward and say,
Is
what
it
am I
always-
doing to call that in, to bring that to me? And it's the vibrations.
My father
you
used
know.
to do that. He would point at everyone in the room and say, it's everyone else's fault. How dare you do this? You have no respect. To everyone. And nobody did anything. We're still just sitting there going, we love you. This is a great day. And he just blames everyone for stuff that's imagined. And I go, what's wrong with you, buddy? You're the one that's the religious fanatic. You're the one that God this. He should be speaking through you. All I hear is the anger. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you're channeling and you say that's your God, don't you think you might be channeling something less than God? Right? Like, what are you doing?
You're asking for more anger.
Yeah. So exactly.
Whether you realize it or not, you're asking the universe for more anger, and that's what you're going to get.
Maybe lashing out. I was just discussing this before the show. Fighting fire with fire no longer works, right? So I have a cool mental impression for you, something I could design in your mind right now. Someone spits fire at you, blah, instead of shooting fire back at it, absorbing the fire and transmuting it into water and just dousing the fire with a smile without having to do anything. You said it earlier today. If I say to someone when they come in the room, hey, love, right? Because that's what I say to you all the time. Hey, love. Okay. It goes on you now and how you're going to handle things. Right, so you're going to come in here and start giving me your business?
Yep, because I'm transmuting love to you. So you can fight back with whatever you like. And the only thing I expect back is more love.
Right. So you put the ball in the other person's court. And people, this is what I mean by being the observer. Some people think I mean standing there and doing nothing while a baby's going to get hit by a train, and just watching it get hit by the train because I'm the observer. No, dummy. That's when you take action. You have to have a little bit of discernment. But you have to remember, time of action, time of quiet, silence, patience. Not saying something is a superpower. Being calm is a superpower. Observing your surroundings and having an ultra awareness of everything that's happening around you is a superpower, guys. Come on. Animals do it all day. You don't feel the heightened senses. You're not shedding your skin. What do you think all these problems and fears and that are just being drummed up? How many of you feel like 6 years ago I was going through this? 6 months ago I was going through this. A year ago I was going through this. You're repeating.
But that's the problem. That's the difference between us and animals. When animals are upset with each other, they go through it, and then 2 seconds later they're over it, and they're back to playing, or back to sleeping, or back to doing whatever they were doing. We hold grudges. That's the problem. Sometimes you just have to let it go.
When you hold a grudge, what do? You hold.
Yeah,
right?
You're holding the anger in.
I'm holding my breath.
You're holding the anger in. Sometimes we just have to, definitely pick and choose our battles, because we can't win every battle, nor should we even want to win every battle. But sometimes we have to pick and choose our battles, and sometimes that means keeping your mouth shut. It's not easy. But sometimes it means letting the other, letting the other person have their moment. Whether they're right or wrong, that doesn't even really matter. Does it to you, in your life? Does it matter? Okay, so you think you're right. Okay.
Okay, on with your day.
Yeah, let's.
I said this a while back when I noticed Trump supporters and Hillary supporters were fighting in the crowd. What I was seeing was one person step up in a crowd and then the other person berate them with their stuff, and the other person just shaking their head. Yeah. And then another person would step up and start shouting. And then that person that wasn't saying nothing would slide over. Another person would step in and stand there face to face and get berated or burst back the other way.
Right.
And all it looked like to me was someone shooting out angry energy and the other one transmuting it. Like star seeds were being activated, light beings were being activated, light warriors. A light warrior doesn't mean I'm going to take a sword and go run down the street and chop your head off. A warrior knows better than that. A warrior's a warrior.
Sometimes
a warrior's not a soldier.
Yeah, sometimes just
a warrior's a warrior.
Yeah, the presence is enough. Sometimes just being there is enough.
Just my eyes staring at you in your eyes should be enough.
emanating love. And if you can't emanate love, then you can emanate like. And if you can't emanate like, then just look away. Yeah, be indifferent. Emanate indifference.
I love everyone, but I'm indifferent to this.
Yes, and because there are so many levels before you get to hate. So
many.
Pick one that suits you best. Because all this karma gets paid back one way or another. It's just like taxes. It gets paid no matter what. Your karma gets repaid.
By being the observer and you let the other person lash out, act out, and they're not supposed to be, you start to see what we mean by observing. It means taking yourself out of the equation, but stand there. And you know what I'm saying? Like you can still observe it, but you're not part of it. And if you have to, you remove yourself. You actually physically get up and walk away.
Sometimes people tell you their problems, and we as good people, we want to activate and move on it. Sometimes they don't want that. Sometimes they just want someone to listen to their problems.
Yep.
They don't want you to come up with the solution because you can give people the solution for free and they don't want it. Frank learned that lesson the hard way with the ayahuasca in the earlier years. He had this magic solution and he wanted everyone to know what it was, and people weren't ready for it. They were indifferent, or they were afraid of it, or
I just lost people because they were literally like, you're nuts.
They thought he was crazy. So sometimes we can have the answer, we can have the key, but other people aren't ready to receive it. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not ready at that moment.
And you can't get upset if you can't help someone. You got to remember, this is about you first. You have to save yourself, then you can activate others. I grow weary of saying this like an old teacher. Look with the beard, like Pai Mei. Mm-hmm. I grow weary of this. You guys got to love yourself. And it's as simple as just looking in the mirror and thinking, even through the craziness, like, oh, this whole world's crazy, but man, I love you. Give yourself a wink and move on. Right? So you have to start thinking to yourself this way, because that's how you change. Look, and even ayahuasca, it's not the silver bullet, people.
No,
I'm done. I've gone past that now. If you're a type of person who's stuck in a loop, Aya will show you. She'll tear you out of the loop. She'll put you over here. She'll put you over there. She'll show you a different perspective. If you choose to step back into the loop and just use her as a crutch, not working. You're not working.
Because it's a medicine.
You want to see the beings. How could you see the beings if you don't work?
Right.
I attribute it to this. If you have bad diet and you have no exercise and you have issues that go down that path, right? And if taking 5 steps really quickly and making like jerky movements get you tired and your heart's beating fast and I can't breathe right now, you want to see one of these beings? You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to die. You're going to see it and go, and die. That's what's going to happen. But when you clean it out, you get clean outside, inside. Things start to change. Your world starts to change.
Everything starts to change.
Right? Like if you have a messy room, clean up. Clean up. Watch what happens. Yeah. I tell you all the time, you want to humble yourself, go do dishes. I don't want to do dishes. That's for who? That's for who?
Yeah.
Someone that cooked for you?
Just do it.
Just do it. Shut your face and be humble. Do it. During that time, do your meditation. Smile while you're doing it. Bless the water touching the dirty dishes, that it cleans it good, and that whoever eats next on this plate have an enjoyable meal. Because guess what? You have to eat minimum 3 times a day. Right? So you're shoveling food in there. Do something nice around the house. Sweep up after your mess. This is simple stuff. But one thing I'm learning about you new boomers or whatever the hell's going on, you kids today have, all right, I know what a messy room is, but let me tell you what. If you're just a sloppy bitch, you better get your act together. Because you screw up not only your space and your energy field, but you leave a fat, slimy mess behind you. All right. And you can't do that. You got to like step up your game and
Yeah.
kind of like, let me take my plate back to the sink. And by the way, I'm not talking about anyone individually because people will hit me up and go, you talking about me, bro? And the answer is no, I'm not.
In general.
I'm
people
being
that
very
just took
general
care
and
of
just
your own
using the
stuff.
most general things I can to help educate because I see this is what necessary at this time. Right? You guys don't know how to do it. Right? Like when I was little, my mother told me you're going to have to wipe your bottom and blow your nose, make sure there's no boogies in your nose, make sure you wash your hands, brush your teeth, comb your hair. Don't be a mess. Don't be disgusting. Yeah, nobody will care if I go out. You know what? 2 people were in the apartment today, not mentioning any names, but it smelled like a locker room within 30 seconds. And I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? Anyone with a beard over 3 inches has to shower 3 times a day. New rule. I'm just kidding. But this is what I'm getting at. Don't go with your best foot forward, not the holes in your underwear kind of thing. You know? Like I went into this new thing, right? Where I bought all new underwear. I think I talked about this on the show. But it's like I was wearing like Hanes cotton underwear, right? Like the boxer briefs. Right. And then I noticed it wasn't helping me. I was constantly hurting myself. So I went for the MeUndies because I heard it on the Joe Rogan thing and I just went for it. I said, you know what? This has got to help. And they're expensive, but I went for it and it helped everything.
Beautiful underwear.
Right. And I look great and feel great. And this isn't an ad for them. What I'm saying is I'm worth it.
Yeah.
My parts are worth
the
money.
Yeah, we had this discussion.
Right? Because I'll spend $80 on ones that I got to repeatedly throw out after 10 washes.
But you won't spend money on good underwear.
But it's 3 years later and I'm still wearing them. They're falling off.
Yeah.
Or do I just suit up like a superhero and feel great all the time? I'm worth it. That doesn't mean I need to fill my place with things I don't need because I'm worth it. But if you feel the connection, man, and you worked hard for it and you put your, that would really help. And this is awesome. And I deserve this. Then do it.
Because when you do one kind thing for yourself, you want to do more kind things for yourself. Like coffee. We bought a really good coffee pot. Why? Because we have a history with terrible. I don't know what happens. Coffee pots. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with us. We're on our 5th coffee pot. And this coffee pot in particular is a really good coffee pot. But it's things like that. If you like to have coffee, buy a good coffee pot. If you have gigantic balls like Frank does, you buy great underwear. I said it. I said it, and I don't care.
All right. So, but it works and it helps.
It does help.
Right. And that's the story. That's the moral of the whole story. As above, so below, I guess. Right. It all fits, all layers, all levels. It's worth it. You're worth it. It's worthy. Like, what are you going to walk around just feeling like, meh? Well, you know what? You're going to just get meh. Mm-hmm. That's what you're going to get.
That's what you're going to get because you're putting that out. You're putting out, I accept mediocrity. And the universe is okay. So it constantly gives you mediocrity.
Yeah, and you're an infinite divine being.
Why would you want that?
Accepting of anything less than infinite divine awesomeness.
We were talking the other day, and I'm getting a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo, and I want to get the word bliss on me. And someone had asked, what does that mean? And I'm like, what do you mean? What does that mean? And he was like, well, just explain it to me. And I was like, it means you have everything you want or everything you ever wanted right now.
In the now.
And that's how I feel. I feel bliss most of the time.
And your definition of bliss over the definition of what most people's definition of bliss would be is completely different. It's like 2 lines riding alongside of each other, and one of them will get you on the road to Oz, and the other one will get you nowhere.
You're right.
It'll get you laid. Getting in bliss, right? That's what most people think. Bliss, I got money, I'm getting some.
I guess so.
Right?
I guess so.
90% of the men are like, hell yeah, brah. But that's not bliss because it's over. When it ends, it's like, well, I had momentary bliss. No. You're not here for momentary bliss. You're here for bliss.
We're here for a sustained way of living, we're looking to achieve a sustained feeling. And
not something that goes away.
That's the feeling for me that I want.
What do you want to only have a good day once in a while?
Yeah.
Well, you're not worth a good day every day?
No, I'm not saying we don't have bad days because we absolutely do have bad days. I mean, I wish I didn't have to work, but I do. it's just the way it is. I mean, I wish me and Frank could just sit around and talk like this all the time, because when we talk like this at home, it's just as fun as it is when we do it on air. It really is. And, I wish it could be more of that, but it can't be. But it doesn't mean I'm not in bliss. It means I'm doing what I have to do, but I'm doing it.
You go from scene to scene,
yeah,
changing,
I'm doing
and then
it,
going up to bliss again.
Yes, I'm doing it from a place of hope, not a place of
desperation.
Anger.
Or fear.
Because I'm hopeful that I'll continue to feel this way.
Not that I have to like claw and scrape to have the feeling for 30 seconds. I see a poor world sometimes of people just hanging on for those brief moments of that relaxing mental mind chill away from the kids, the moment in the back to take a drag off a cigarette. It's like, yo, calm down.
Yeah, there's more to it. It's like those guys that thought high school was the best time of their lives. Now I'm not knocking you if you did think that high school was the best time of your life. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that if you allow yourself to look outward, you'll realize there's so much more. Every day that you are allowed to be on this planet is a gift to you until the next day. And that's how I feel. That's at least how I try to feel. There were other days when I want.
But see,
I want to crawl back in bed.
Like you're putting it into motion. You're like, yo, I get up and I try.
Yeah, right? I try.
But I don't stop. It's not like it's not something I give up on after 10 tries. Oh, it worked 5 times or only once. Yeah, well, you know what? Keep doing it. It's a motivation thing. It's a mental thing. It's a how you think and how you put things forward. You can do it. You got to put your feet in the water and go for it. Stop holding yourself back from love. You deserve more than that. We're your protection from deception. So when you come back, we're going to get deep into the pool.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TLR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
Special shout out to my man Brent Dresner, Facebook Life Warrior. When I kind of just Facebook, seen him everything when I started having my experiences, the DMT, the ayahuascas. As I grew in my levels, it may be about a little less than a year ago, a friend did him, and it was like I was watching what he was doing. There was a few other guys, as Shaman. I was watching him. I didn't know what to say to people. I didn't know. Is this okay? Is this all right? Like, I'm not a drug addict. I'm the opposite of a drug addict. I don't do this for fun. The way I woke up is completely different. Like the beings that I work with, there's a specific reason why I work with them and other people don't right away. It's like we're all connected. It's just that some of us are just, when you show up for a job and you're like the new guy, but there's people already in positions when you get there, and then you like look up to that guy and then he gets you into the position. Then finally you're in his position and you got a guy under you, and but we're doing you take 3 steps up, I'm tied to the rope. I take the 3 steps behind you, then you're tired, and I run up 6 steps. Right. And then I go, look what's up here. And then you run up, 6 steps while I rest and say, look what's up here. And it becomes like a leader becomes like a team member.
Right.
And that switches person to person, whoever goes further up the mountain as we go. The leadership switches because there is no true leader. It's everyone together. It is the I am, we are. So I want to special thanks because it was just one of those things, that goes on.
Okay.
Those connections are strong. And my brothers out there, we're connecting and growing strong. We are the in thing. We are what's going down. We are what's up in the now. It's us.
Yeah,
What's up?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, look at the smile
Yeah,
she
I know,
just got.
I'm
She's like,
laughing now.
holy
I
moly.
know.
Right? The point of this is it's you. It's me. Right? People, they hear the disclaimer and they're like, oh, it's all about him and his thing. You could do that yourself. It's that
No, you can
I
definitely do it.
healed myself because I was sick. Shout out to those who are taking the journey and actually hearing what I'm saying and putting any piece of what Paula and I are going and saying on air live into any bit of practice,
Right.
whichever amount of it holds true to your world. I see success after success.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all. I see the failures out there, but people go, what about these other people? I go, don't worry about them. What are you doing?
Well, we have close friends that have tried a few things and it's worked for them successfully.
And success is many-layered, multi-layered, from your heart out to wealth.
Yeah.
Like I don't think in terms of rich anymore, right? Like rich or poor. I think about being wealthy. And wealthy, what do you mean wealthy? Wealthy rich? No, wealthy. Just wealthy. Wealthy in all my layers.
Right.
In every layer. I don't want to be rich. Rich starts, man, I'm rich, you're not. If I have wealth, it spreads around. It's like a different kind of thing. It's like the way a king thinks rather than the way a peasant thinks. Are you going to get off your knees anytime soon, people? We all can be kings and queens. This is the rise of the feminine. You're all queens. You're my queen. I'm your king.
Nice.
Yay, nay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we got to make the point and drive it home to them, right? So in those worlds, there's your king and queen. Where's your wealth? My wealth is right here. She's sitting with me.
Oh,
my
well,
wealth
that's
is
sweet.
right here. I am my wealth. My cats, your
Yeah,
cats,
our family. Yeah.
wealth. Then you continually work your way out. But when you work from that out, it becomes different. What does family mean to you? What does friendship mean to you? I see a lot of people screwing people over out there. You're still trying to hustle for the $100 and screw a long life friend over what, $100? Why? You still that's gonna push you so far ahead. You're like the guy that rushes to the red light to wait. Dummy. There's no reason.
Right.
You're just losing. You're losing. You're not winning. You know why you're losing? Because we can all eat.
Yes, because there's
I knew that
yes,
would work.
because no, because I listen intensely and Frank gets nervous. But yeah, because there is enough for everyone. If we don't all want the same thing, and even if we all did want the same thing, the universe can provide exactly what we each want.
Yeah.
We just have to believe again. We have to believe that we're worthy of having it.
Right. Like, all right, one thing I learned as a musician, there's the pie for everyone. Everyone's like, well, you ain't down, you ain't in. I'm like, what are you talking about? The internet opened it up. I was signed to labels. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It was pigeonholed. And then like an hourglass, one piece of sand at a time, drip dropping in. And then it opened exponentially. Okay. Your move, Cupcake. You can do what you want now. Well, I can't compete with Michael Jackson. Well, you can. You're not competing with them. You're making music that someone's going to like.
Right.
Who cares what the other rap group is doing?
Right.
If you don't like what I'm doing, you won't listen. I don't need to battle it out with you. I came here to make music. Right? And everybody wants to have that contest. Right? Like everyone on American Idol that doesn't make it, their dreams get crushed. Let me tell you, I want to scream and curse right now. Right? You would crush someone's dream because you don't think they're good enough. See, I held that one in.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. But that because they didn't make a show because Simon doesn't think they're good enough or Howard Stern. Let me tell you what you could all do with your little trophies and your little talent shows. You could take it and stick it where the sun don't shine. It's a good thing when it's a good thing, and it's a bad thing when you're prostituting it. Everyone's dreams can come true.
Right.
Everyone's. You're born here.
You have to believe it. And I'm not saying
it's up to us also to help others.
Yeah, well, you also have to work at your dreams too. I mean, if you want something, you just can't sit your ass on the couch and wait for it to find you. You have to actually go out in the direction of it. You have to work towards the direction of your dream. But, you could
always tell the difference with those people. Those are like guys that open the door with a girl there and then rush in quick and don't hold the door open and hope that it just stays open long enough for the girl with packages to walk through. You're that guy. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
That guy sucks.
Yeah.
Right? He's an uninspirational prick. You should never deal with him, and you should be like, you need to go back to school, son. Next time you hold the door open for the girl carrying the baby with the 3 packages instead of running into the store first. Oh, did you get done first in the store? Would you spare an extra 3 seconds, buddy? You know, leave the world a better place than you left it, you know?
Try.
Do your best.
You know, I mean, we all have bad days, but I mean, try, you know, just try. And love each other, for God's sakes, please, because there's so much anger.
Try to look at the person around you that's pissing you off, right? And then think of that that's a reflection, right? They're in a machine, because that's really you.
Yeah.
In another machine, in
really
another
you.
spacesuit that is having a different reaction to things.
Right.
So you're going to hate on them. You're just hating on yourself. You don't have to like it, but you don't have to hate it.
Yeah, don't hate it. Don't hate it.
You can turn around. If you can make a change, make a change. If that's your purpose, then make the change. Help in a helpful, constructive way, whatever that is. If it's not, don't try to fit the square peg in the round hole. Stop smashing it in there.
Stop
it doesn't
smashing.
fit. It doesn't work.
So I have to tell a quick story.
Go ahead.
So at my old job, I had a lot of younger team members that worked with us, and I used to tell them all that they were my favorite. So when I resigned from that job and we had a big meeting, it all came out that I had told all of them they were my favorite, and they were like, hey, you told me I was your favorite. And then it was, no, you told me I was your favorite, but I really meant it. They all were my favorite because they all had very different qualities. So then I really wasn't able to work for a long period of time. You guys know this. The guys that, you know, you listen to the show, you know this. And I just recently went back to work a few months ago, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to work or if I'm going to be able to keep this up. But, you know, every day, like for me, every day is, nothing's promised. I push towards the next day. So where I am working currently now, I love all the people that I work with, and they all know that they are my favorite. And I feel terrible because when they all talk to each other, they go, oh, well, Paula told me I was their favorite. So I got busted again. But that's the kind of work atmosphere that I really want to have. So I think because I want to have that type of work atmosphere, I manifested that type of work atmosphere. I mean, some of these people I only know a couple of months, and they're like my babies. And, you know, Frank has to hear about it when I come home. I mean, you know, we're texting kissy, blowy faces at each other. And it's like, Paula, you just got there. You just got at this job. You know, some people I've known from back in the day, but other people I literally just met months ago. And, you know, that's what I want to inspire. I want to inspire more love, and it can't be love more like. You know, if I have to be, I'm like, the chat room folks are so clever. That's what I feel like sometimes.
Hey, Tom, that fearless one with the fish jumping bowl to
that's
bowl.
Awesome.
That's us right now.
That's how I feel
jumping
most
into
of
the
time.
second bowl. And then viewing the smaller one going, wow, look at all the fish over there.
Yeah. No, but that's truly how I feel. And that's the kind of environment I want to work in. And, you know, speaking of our home, you know, we had a couple of visitors this week. And, you know, no one ever wants to leave. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. We love
tell them
it.
While they're here, hey, this seems to be a quality.
But it is a very nurturing environment. And everyone feels it. You know, even my family was here the other day. And, you know, it was very nice to see them comfortable because they really don't know what this show is all about.
It's funny how they just all get super comfortable here.
Yeah, but they get comfortable. Like they don't really understand the show. They don't listen to the show. But they came and, you know, they've come before, but it's nice to see them comfortable when they really do think secretly that we're weirdos. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is.
I get the feeling sometimes is, where does he keep it? Where's the voodoo stash?
Yeah, you know, they don't get it.
No, it's just a broom closet.
Yeah, exactly.
What you see in the fridge is what you see in the fridge. Like, what do you think we're doing here? Like, we don't run like a bed and breakfast and a weirdo thing like that. We're just unlocking, as we go. There's no script to this.
Yeah. I mean, it's what it is. It's just
Shaman life, squad goals.
Yeah, trying to live like we have a little team. Like we're just trying to live the happy life. That's it.
One of the things we've noticed is that we are developing that. Well, it's been developed is that we're happy.
Yes.
Right. Like even
most
when
of
we're
the
down,
time.
No, even when we're not happy, we're still happy in our situation.
Yes.
Even though it's like, hey, I'm mad at you. You closed the door in my face. Yeah. Hold while I had the package. It's like, damn you. It's not like I'm going to get up and leave and take the cats with me. It's like, well, you son of a, that's not what's going on. Right. And even when it gets like that, you're still like, well, this is home.
Yeah, this is home.
This is my family.
You want to argue about it, we could argue about it, but ultimately there's going to be no change.
At the end of the day, you still got to lay down.
Yeah. Like
right there.
Tomorrow is still going to come, like
and
let's get
tomorrow's
over
never
it now.
Promised.
Yeah, tomorrow is never promised, so stop being a dick. Really. I said it. Just let's stop. But I'm just saying,
One of the things about being a shaman, and I hate even to put a label on it anymore, but clearing the energy around you is so important. This is part of like, what have you learned? What have you been doing? What has been taught to you? Are you putting it into practice now? And this is important. Now, if you're supposed to sage, say a little meditation, and then do the next thing. If you just decide to I'm just going to drink the ayahuasca, or I'm just going to smoke the DMT, or I'm just going to eat the mushrooms and screw that, you're going to get an attitude like that in return.
Yes.
Just remember
do what
that.
You have to do.
You're held to a higher standard.
Respect the earth.
It's
just
time
respect
now.
the earth. It's a plant medicine, so you have to respect the earth.
Well, it even goes for yourself. You have to clear out your house, clear out your home. That means you got to go into the sunlight. You got to light some sage. You got to rub your feet in the grass. You got to look up at the sun. You got to be grateful. You got to send love. You got to get empty, and you got to get everything out. You got to purge it out, so that you can
receive,
and then just receive new, fresh, double the amount each time. Now you're responsible for this. So like for me, if I held a ceremony without doing all of that stuff, Gina will tell you right now. Gina's like, we learned all that stuff. If we don't do all that stuff right now, we're in so much trouble. And I'm like, I know. Because she gets you like, right? Because she's right. Because she knows what happens if you don't. That's why she's like adamant about it. She's like, well, we know now. And now once you know, if you don't know. And I'm like, I know. Because if we'll get tentacles down your throat, flapped around the room. Look, you're going to see
literally.
Them you knew better, and now
you knew better than that.
You were in a playful vibration. Yay! Look what's right there. And when you knew, if you would have just taken, sometimes it takes a minute just to say something.
Clean the area.
Area out. Take a break for a second. Stop huffing and puffing. Come on, let's do that. Come on. Let's go. Like drop that down a notch. And be like, all right,
because you changed the energy around you.
You pull that out. Everybody breathe 3 times. Get comfortable. Say your intentions.
Yeah. Remember, when you vibrate at a certain frequency, the other frequencies, they can't see you because you're not vibrating at that frequency, so they don't even know you're there.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show. Just showing up.
That's good. That's both good and bad. So you have to be very mindful because what you're putting out, you're getting back. It's a vibrational pull. It's natural to receive it back. Magnetics.
You send out a frequency and then distort that frequency, you're going to get a distortion return on your investment. It's going to be distorted. If you put conditions on your love, then you're going to get conditioned love.
Yes, I was accused of putting conditions on my love last week. However, though it might be slightly true,
admit it.
It's meant in the most kind way. I do have some conditions.
Sometimes.
The cats go with me if anything should happen.
Squeak's mine.
No. Absolutely not.
I sprinkle the ayahuasca on Squeak, and he turns into Battle Cat, and I ride off into the sunset with glowing.
That's a little bit much, Frank. I'm going to say it on the air.
So I just want to go out there and say this really quick. This is my disclaimer. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. Then by all means proceed. But first, we suggest you find a reputable shaman that knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. I just want to give a quick update because we're running down on time, and I don't want to scream this on the way out because people have asked me about this. So one of the things that has been going on, back to the storyline really quick, is wondering why the hell my light being was catching a beating from Horus and Anubis and all these characters. Right. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change the topic.
No, it's fine.
I just want to make sure we touch base on these topics because the show's only an hour, right, guys? Anyway, so super powerful. Bang. All right, so this is what happens. I'm told I'm not allowed to touch this thing. My light being body. Like, you're not allowed to touch it.
Right.
Apparently, you created it. You have to deal with it. But you can't touch it. So what I did was, and this was really odd, I had like a pocket area, like a portal opens, boom, you could put something in it, close the portal, you hang out there.
Wow.
I call it like a pocket dimension. And I don't know where I come up with these things sometimes. It's just comic booky stuff. But it's exactly where it was put. And I would be told by these characters that seem to be Anubis and Horus constantly over and over again. But Horus would be behind me. So I'm not seeing him per se because they're trying to say like, hey, it's you. That's Horus.
Right.
And we're trying to clear you so we can enter you.
Yes.
Right? So I was like, you guys, I discerned them and said, I trust you. Right, which is weird because I created this other character.
Right.
So, and I had to put him off to the side. So I find myself dancing around him at times. I find myself coming so close to pulling. Just, you know how hard it is, especially you and I, where we have that touchy-feely kind of got to touch it. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah. You're doing good. You're doing good. Patting you on the back and stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not touch someone that's you?
Right. You're compelled to touch.
But they're telling you if this program, which is what will unleash inside of you, will affect them.
If you touch it.
Yeah. It'll affect your inner working, your program.
Right.
The ones and zeros in you. And will affect them jumping into your body, like a Horus actually stepping into you and becoming you. Mm-hmm. You becoming him or whatever. So this is the great dilemma that goes back and forth. Do I touch myself? Because it's me. I called to this thing.
What do you do?
Well, that's part of the story we're going to have to wait for. But I find myself speaking directly to it. I'm like, are you whispering to me? And it's like, I'm just letting you know I'm here. Like, don't forget me. And I said, well, I can't really forget you because you're me. There's an attachment to you now, but I wonder why they don't want me touching you outside of that. I wonder what agenda's coming down the line. It's going to be interesting to find this one out. You guys will be quite surprised. But we're going to keep it within the storyline so I don't give everything away in one shot. Because it all means something. It's going to affect everybody on every layer. And it's going to show what discernment does, what discernment really is.
But we have 6 minutes left.
I'm not done. What it really takes to do what we do, to do what you can do, to do what you're built to do. Right? Are you going to become what you're meant to become? Or are you going to bend to someone else's will? Are you going to be someone else's puppet? Are you going to go from being a puppet to a slave to a puppet with a new master? Or are you going to just free it up and go strong?
But that's the thing about this. You can't go backwards. Once you've elevated yourself, or at least your thinking, you can't go backwards. It's too hard. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but you can go lateral. That's a problem people have. It's like dipping into the same pool and wondering why you keep coming out with the same fish. You're like, hey man, I can't have a relationship with someone. It just doesn't work. It's like, well, where'd you meet your girlfriend? And they're like, well, that doesn't really matter. I'm like, of course it matters. It's like, well, I met her at the bar. I'm like, well, what happened? Well, she was an alcoholic and she stole my money.
Not me.
No. This is just, I'm throwing it out there. And then you meet someone else and it's like, who's this person? Oh, I love her so much. She's awesome. Well, where'd you meet her? Well, in the strip club. It's like, really? Are you dating? Okay, cool, whatever. It's like, no. And you give it all.
Right. You give it all you have and it doesn't work.
And then you go, well, that didn't work again. And then next person, hey, where'd you go? I met her at the club. Well, what do you keep doing? What are you doing? You're going to pull in what you're going, that's That's not how you do it. Is that the only way to meet girls?
Right.
Is that the only way that I can hook up with someone?
Right.
Is I have to do I have to go to a church now and meet a Catholic girl? Because that's what people do. They'll go to one extreme and they go all the way to the other, and they don't realize they're just jumping into these really crappy areas. They're pulling out of the lower vibration. And I'm not crapping on anybody out there that's in that vibration. It's just that we don't see it. We swim like fish unaware in these oceans of people. And then when your time is ready, you just meet yours and then pull out.
Right.
That's
you
really
meet the
what
person that's meant for you, but you have to feel that you're worthy of meeting that person. And that's pretty much the hardest part. You know.
I gave up everything. And, I was on the floor.
Yeah.
This is the main story of FearLess. I was on the floor going, oh, what's happening to me? And Sekhmet rolled up and said, I'm coming. All you had to do was keep an eye on him. It's time. It's time. Don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, whatever. During that time, I lost everything. I gave up. I was like, no more, nothing. And I had this weird clean slate of everything. And I felt like I lost it all. I don't have nothing. But yet I wasn't feeling bad.
Right.
I was like, what's going on here? And then when I go, I want it. They were like, what do you want? I was like, I want love. I want love everywhere. Like love. If everything's based on love and built on love, then all I want is love. And it came. Oh my God. I was like, lowercase J. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, it can't possibly be this good. And it goes back to what we were just saying.
Right.
It can be that good.
It can be if you think you deserve it and you were ready to receive it.
Absolutely. See, that's another thing. It's like you want it, but are you ready to,
are you ready to receive it?
You want the truth, but are you ready to face the truth?
Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Can you? Because a lot of people can't. I couldn't for a very long time.
Yeah, you tell somebody truth right to their face. They want to murder you. They go, get out of here. And it's like, well, you don't want the truth? And they go, no, well, you're a jerk. And it's like, no, I'm not a jerk. I'm not being a jerk. I'm saying the truth. People are lying. They don't have a clue what's going on. Don't ask me if you don't want to hear it.
But people are not ready to hear the truth. That's where the problem comes in. So those people detach from you, and it's very unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. It has
to happen.
You peeling away the veil and standing face to face with the actual truth.
It's very difficult for a lot of people.
Do you fear it? What is it? What is wrong about the truth that bothers so many people?
The frequency changes. The frequency changes completely. I don't even blame the other people. Why? So because they don't understand me? Well, I can't force you to understand how I feel. And, I don't want to have to change you to understand how I feel. You either do or you don't. It's the way it is. It really is the way it is. There are times when I wish I could do things about that, but I can't. We can't. We have to be who we are.
No more masks. No more masks. You don't need them. Be you. Everyone else is taken. Just be you. That's the originality factor. Let the real you shine. And don't let anyone steal your shine.
Right.
You don't have to force it. It's always going to be a little bit of a battle.
Right.
But it's worth it. The payoff is worth it. It hasn't been paying off up to now, people. What have you been doing? Has it been paying off? I don't think so. You wouldn't be listening to me if it did. You'd be like, yo, it's time for a change. It's time for this to change. And this is what we're doing. We're changing. We're growing. We're doing it together. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just basing the outline across the board and laying truth out there. It's up to you to step on the truth landmines and wake up, people. Love all of you so much. Stick around for Chris and Cherie. They are up next with Beyond the Veil. And remember, we're your protection from deception. Love you so much. See you next week, and we'll go over the Thunderbirds, the Whales, the Eagles, and the Roosters. Ah!